Hello, students. Let's try to understand the human eyes and colorful world. In this chapter, I'm going through only reading. Okay, I'm not explaining this one. Okay, so you have studied in the previous chapter about the refraction of light by lens. You also study the nature, position, and relative size of image formed by the lens. How can these ideas help us in the study of the human eyes? The human eyes uses light and enable us to see objects around us. It has a lens in its structure. What is the function of the lens in human eyes? How do the lenses used in the speculus correct defects of the vision? Let us consider these questions in the this chapter. We have learned in the previous chapter about the light and some of its properties. In this chapter we shall use these ideas to study some of the optical phenomena in nature. We shall also discuss about rainbow formation, splitting of white light and blue color of the sky. The human eyes. Okay, let's try to understand the human eyes. What is meaning of the human eyes? The human eyes is one of the most valuable and sensitive sense organ. It enables us to see the wonderful world and the colors around us. On closing the eyes we can identify object to some extent by their smell, taste, sound they make, or by touch. It is however impossible to identify colors while closing the eyes. Thus, of all the sense organ, the human eyes is the most significant one as it enables us to see the beautiful, colorful world around us. The human eyes is like its camera, its lens system form an image on the light sensitive screen called the retina. Light enters the eye through a through a thin membrane called the cornea. Okay, so student, if you talk about the thin membrane, so what is this thin membranes? You can see the very thin layers are there, this one, and this thin layer is called cornea. Okay, it forms the transparent blue bulge on the front surface of the eyeball as shown in figure 11.1. The eyeball is approximately spherical in shape with the diameter of 2.3 meter. Most of the refraction for the light rays entering the eye occurs at the outer surface of the cornea. The crystalline lens merely provides the finer adjustment of the focal length required to focus object at different distance on the retina. We find a structures called iris behind the cornea. So where is the iris, student, if you talk about? So this small portion is here now. This is the what called the iris. Iris is dark macular diagram that control the size of the pupil. Okay, so this is the pupil, student. This you can find the pupil, and the iris is controlling, this portion is controlling the size. The pupil regulate and control the amount of light entering the eyes. The eyes lens form an inverted real image of the object on the retina. Okay, eyes lens form the inverted real image on the object of retina. The retina is a delicate membrane having the enormous number of light sensitive cell. The light sensitive cell get activated upon illumination and they generate electrical signal. These signals are sent to the brain via the optic nerve. The brain interprets these signals and finally processes the information so that we perceive object as they are. Damage to or the malfunction of any part of the visual system can lead to significant loss of visual functioning. For example, if any of the structure involved in the transmissions of light like the cornea, pupil eyes lens, acquired the aqueous humor and the vitreous humors, or those responsible for the conversion of the light to the electrical impulse like the retina or even the optic nerves that transmits these impulses to the brain, it will results in visual impairment. You might have experienced that you are not able to see object clearly for some time when you enter from the bright light to a room with the dim light. After some time, however, you may be able to see things in the dim light rooms. The people of an eyes act like a variable apertures whose size can be varied with the help of the iris. When the light is very bright, the iris contract. The pupil is allowed to less light to enter the size. However, in dim light, the iris expand. The pupil is to allow more light to enter the eyes. Thus, the pupil open completely through the relaxation of iris. Now we will study the power of accommodation in the next video, student. Thank you so much for watching, dear students.